Good afternoon, folks. We welcome you once again back to the Robert Schwarten Pavilion here in Rockhampton. This is the final of the 2025 Australian Doubles Open grade. Race to 6. At the table currently David Linton and Joshua Hart versus Cooper Denman, whom you would have seen in action this morning playing for Team Tasmania. And Jay Watkins, I do actually forget his first name, so I do apologise right off the bat. And then you've got on the left table is the ladies' final, or the women grade as it's called. It is between Belinda Campbell and Sandy Wright of Queensland and Bobby Jo Quinn and Mia Newman from Victoria. Victoria and Queensland for the ladies played in an epic teams match earlier on today, and that ended up going to a playoff or extra frames, and Victoria came out on top. There's some of those early nerves again from David. He saw that, in fact, in both semis that both quarters that we had played before. With the singles, you had early misses and mistakes being made. And sometimes that's what happens. You might have played earlier in the day, as I've mentioned before, but you've still got to reacquaint yourself with not only the arena, but also the fact that you're playing on a freshly ironed and brushed table. You're playing under all this pressure. You're also playing a team game in terms of its pairs and not just singles. So you're almost having to reset yourself completely. You know that you should be knowing what you're doing by this point because you've been playing for so many days, but there is a sense that it's a new game and that you have to reset for it. So I'm John Saundercock once again. The semi-finals of the ladies, Mia Newman and Bobby Jo Quinn were victorious 4-2 over Anne Moi Moi and Penny Fudulis of ACT, and Belinda Campbell and Sandy Wright beating Celia Bason and Gina Grimwood from New Zealand South 4-3. So that's how they've gotten here, or at least one game removed from how they got here. I just want to have a quick look at for the men's. The men's as to how they got there, because I've just been following so much that's gone on. I sometimes forget what in particular is being done and when and where. Just quickly jump on pull stat. Yeah, so Cooper Denman and Jay Watkins beat Trey Chan and Chris Beagley 5-4 from NT. And David Linton and Joshua Hart beat Jason Tanaskovich and Jay Rennie 5-1. Game seems to be moving over on the right table. It's very, very cagey and congested on the left. So the left table is table 2 and the right table is table 1, as we established earlier on. It's a bit of a loose shot there from Bobby Joe, but I think in this circumstance you don't really want to be going anywhere soon. You wanting to be forcing your opponent to make the play, because you look at all those yellows all congested and tied up together. This might help speed things along here. Obviously it must have been a fair break for this frame to be continuing in this vein, because generally you would find more of a spread. So basically as soon as the cue ball is picked up, as I understand, when the time begins, so they've already used half the allotted time just trying to map out what they're doing, and that's probably not a bad thing when you look at the table. You don't really want to be hooking in early and potentially opening it up for your opponents. You want to be very selective into how and when you go here. So time back on now that the shot on the other table has been played. And it's a good shot that actually from Mia. Sorry, Bonnie Campbell, I apologise, not Belinda. If I'd bothered to have a look at the front of the shirt. So Jackie is our referee for the ladies match, and Jay is refereeing the men's match. Now of course that we've had a bit more play being completed and competitions within this tournament being completed, we now have more referees open to be there to watch matches. A lot of the referees also playing this over this week or these few days that we've been here. But now as they stop being players, they can now become referees if they are called upon. Jay Windross is actually one exception. He only came here as a referee. So he's been here pulling 15 to 17 hour days most days, so he definitely deserves anybody who wants to buy him a beer or 20 to be spaced out over a few days. Please do, because he's been a colossus. So David Linton there over the last yellow on the table, and he's played that so well. Like a stun and run type shot, and Joshua Hart with the easiest looking of blacks to go 1-0 ahead. So here's back to your women's final as you're about to rack the balls on the men's table. So we do now have that graphic that tells us which set of balls each player is on. So as you can see underneath the names, you've got the red underneath the Q and the... So that must have been a frozen ball. Oh no, it wasn't a frozen ball, apologies. We've actually got the colours the wrong way around. So there you go. So you're Bobby Joe and Mia on reds, but we've now fixed that. So players are allowed to talk to each other in pairs, so long as the table has not been addressed. If the player to play the shot has addressed the table like this, they are not then allowed to get back up and talk to their partner. If they do, it is a foul. So you need to be working out what you're wanting to do before you get down to play your shot. Left Bobby Joe in a good position here, just run into the rail and back out. It'll do okay. I think Mia's saying to her, you could have come off a little bit more for me, but I'll take what you give. This to open our scoring for the ladies. Down it goes. So 1-0 to Team Victoria on the ladies' side. Back to the men's side, the Queenslanders holding a 1-0 lead there. Tasmanian boys just having a little map here. There's a juicy looking open table here for either set. I haven't actually seen what's been potted yet, so I can't tell you where they're planning to go. It does look like he's aiming up for reds though. And he's managed to stick Denman on either the red to the left or the red to bottom right. I would say that if you can easily access the centre of the table off any one of these other balls, and that red that goes to centre left, the one that's further away from the centre left pocket, that could be a good ball to play last. It's either that or either of the other two reds that are near the middle pockets, because you've got the one that he's now, that he could play to top right. And if they travel back towards the racking end of the table, you've got the red that goes to middle left. Taking that ball to middle left now, the one that was next to the yellow, that now perhaps takes away a potential problem if you get out of position. You certainly don't want to get out of pos if you're trying to play to the black, which was one of the risks in leaving that ball till last. So that's not the best. He's well short there, I would say. You would have wanted to maybe put that into bottom right corner or middle right and just diagonally fade down the middle of the table. Gonna have to do that on some sort of angle here, and runs into the yellow, and that's a lot more difficult for Cooper Denman now. It could possibly bank. Maybe it does bank past the black. It certainly doesn't look like it cuts into that middle on this angle, so I'm going to have to take a bit of a risk here if I want to pot. I've got to watch the black. Oh, he's played that so beautifully though. Cooper Denman, where have you come from? Looks like he's shooting to middle here. No, he's went to top and he's missed it. I think the initial aim looked like he was playing to middle, but then as he struck it, obviously told me I was wrong, but that's a massive opportunity missed to square the ledger there. Just switch my focus very quickly back to the women's game. It looks like Sandy at the table. Wasn't shy of that double, but couldn't find the pocket. Joshua Hardy, has he left a gap here? That yellow coming back towards the middle of the table might have just closed it off ever so slightly, or just enough to not allow this to be potted cleanly. So maybe more good luck than good fortune if that's the case. We shall find out. It is Cooper. Yes, I think it is Cooper to take the shot. I'm pretty sure Joe Watkins, there you go. So I don't feel so stupid now. He's gone to kick at the black and he's missed it completely, so it will be a ball in hand. Bobby Joe Quinn unfortunately cannot make the red stick. So it will be Bonnie Campbell's turn to the table here for the ladies. And again, as you had with the singles earlier, both of these sets of players, or all of these sets of players, have got a fairly large support crew. Obviously, as your days have gone on, you've got fewer competitions that you play in remaining, and then you've got days free for some people, so they decide they're going to have a look around Rockhampton, especially if they've never been here before, or they want to have a rest or go to the polls or what have you. But there are quite a few people who have decided to stay in the arena to watch their players play, which I think is fantastic. Yellow near the black on table 2 does not go, so Bonnie looking to play the one in bulk to come back out. Now, the biggest problem here is the fact that there's no pocket on the left side of the table towards the black spot, or the bottom right pocket that goes into. Unless that does pass, it didn't look like it passed, but I could be wrong. Bonnie, certainly for her part, looking to prove me wrong here. Okay, I was wrong, and that's a great shot. The black certainly does pass the red to bottom left. Maybe a bit fortunate that he got that rub on the red on the men's side there. Both of these lads played in the Queensland Open team. And both Joe and Cooper played for the Tasmanian Open side, as Sandy makes it 1-1. Queensland v Victoria on the ladies' side, and that's a bad miss by Joshua. It could very well be 1-1, both tables in short order here. So the argument that was going to be made here between these two is, do I cut it in the corner and try to pace the cue ball to go into the top right quadrant of the table in case you miss? Or do I just say, screw it, I'm going to go full bore top left and just trust myself that I'm going to make the pot? Looks like he's going top left here. Yep, and he's missed it by some distance. And what's more, I don't think he's left enough of a, or hard enough shot where David's going to turn this down. I think he'll pick himself to at least get the pace right to get that yellow over the pocket if it doesn't drop. So Mr. Black earlier in the frame got another shot at much the same shot. So David's not even tried to block the pocket so much as just sticking it in the way of the black there, and he's actually played that very well. So sets have been established on the left table. Bobby Joe just playing the yellow over the pocket to hold the pocket. Certainly rather want to be yellows over there. It's an awful lot of scope for a finish over there. This is a little tester for Joshua. It's a not too dissimilar shot to the one that Craig had and turned down as a pot. I do suggest that Joshua will be taking this on though. Got it, but he's got a poor kiss on the 8. Now, do you stick or do you twist? Many of these players are quite adept at the length of the table double. You could of course look to hit the thinnest edge of this black and leave much the same shot for your opponent if you get it right, but first thing is that you've got to be careful that you don't scratch in the bottom right pocket, and the second thing is you need to make sure that you don't hit it too thick and leave a shot. Gone for the double. Where's it going to finish? It's not going to be good for the Queenslanders. After all those opportunities missed. One is finally taken for the Tasmanian pairing. It's a circuitous route to get there, but it's one each on the men's side. Bobby Joe Quinn at the table in the women's set final. I don't mind that shot at all. Don't mind what she's done there. They do hold the cards in terms of the balls that they've got and where they've put them. There are a number of problems here if you're Reds. Probably the biggest ball that needs to go is the one to the left of the black. That's the one that's going to cause the largest number of problems. These three in bulk are actually not too bad, and they match up reasonably well together, especially if you can get to that one right in the middle of bulk, which we could see here. But instead opting for the one to the right. So I'm picking right, left, and then maybe using that middle ball as a ball to get down for that red close to the black. She needs to make sure that she leaves a bit of angle here. It looks like it's pretty natural that she will leave some angle, but not too much. So that might not be enough. She would have liked to have travelled maybe about the width of the ball further down or further towards the camera. Bonnie's going to need to force this somewhat to get Cuball travelling in the right direction here. You see, she's had to force it, and now they're in a bit of trouble. In fact, that should be a fatal, really. But it wasn't that the shot itself was bad or the shot choice was bad, it's just that She had to give it some to get it to where it needed to go, and as a result, the chance that she misses is higher. And this quite possibly is maybe down to the fact that that is the ball that they chose to use to position themselves for the hard red, is the one that was naturally the hardest to work off. That's just my feeling anyway. Probably be taking the plant now, because you could, if you're not careful, you could easily lose that second yellow in the red. They're not going to take it now. They're going to take. Well, they're not going to take it first. They're going to take it now. So Bobby Jo's just got to be careful that she catches the yellow full here. She doesn't want to hit the side of it, because then that propels the yellow towards the red. And she's caught it nice and full. So, not so sure if the screws straight back out. You should probably catch the red with it. And she's also got to be careful if she wants to go around the back of the red, that there's every chance that she'll clip the red on the way out and it will kill the cue ball. So whichever way they decide on doing this, I've got to commit to the shot. She's just overhit it there. And down goes the cue ball on the men's side. That was the Tasmanians who played that. So ball in hand on the reds for David and Joshua here. As we go back to this attempt on the black from Bobby Jo. This looks good if it's got the legs, but it's run out of puff. Needed to give that a firmer hoof. This is not an easy shot though for, I think it's Sandy about to play this. Got a half ball cut, but a fair bit of distance, and the cue ball will be travelling. She's trying to go inside the red. What a shot! The double inside the red, how about it? Now Bonnie Campbell with this black to get the lead for the Queenslanders. And not to be, and look where it's sat. Mia Quinn springs out of her seat. Sorry, Mia Newman springs out of her seat to assume the table here. So big shot, big opportunity missed. And now it swings back to the Vic girls. And she's missed it as well. And there's just apologising as she walks back to her spot, because look where she's left the black. Got some options here. There's obviously a safety option to try to leave the black on the short rail. Or there's that option. That might go twice across. No. No, it doesn't, and now Bobby Jo will get her turn at the black. So all four players would have had a shot at this black in this frame on the left. Something that you don't often see. But I like the fact that she's taking her time over this. She's got 45 seconds, use them. And this time it does go, and the cue ball stays up. There's a fair bit of brow wiping that'll be going on out of shot there, and in fact Bobby Jo's just asked for a quick restroom break. You have to actually tell the referee that you're looking to use the facilities so that the referee can stop the clock if need be, or just so that they know what you're doing. Big frame there for the Queensland men. David Linton, Joshua Hart going 2-1 up over Cooper Denman and Joe Watkins from Tasmania. Well, sorry, should I say 3-1 up? Is it? Hang on, we're getting our P's and Q's mixed up here. We need an earpiece into the referee here. Almost feels wrong to try to yell out to someone to ask what the score is, doesn't it? It's certainly not a thing that you want to be making a habit out of. I can tell you that Bobby Joe's making her way back into the arena. And it's a successful break for David Linton, so Joshua Hart will get his first pick of the litter here. Both sets look okay, but for me I think Reds shade this. You've got a bunch of them around the black, so that's certainly going to help for your mapping to get position back on the black. If you had a good first ball, you've got a good link ball off your first ball. Now it's just a matter of kind of reverse engineering this so that you get to the black in good nick. Don't think that red to the bottom right goes, so we may have to reroute to the bottom left red here. So maybe just a wee mistake there in positioning from David to force a remap. Well, it's made a good shot, but again the position is lacking. Now he's starting to get into more and more trouble and starting to run out of balls with which to really put a safety shot in before you get yourself into territory where you're giving yourself more rope to hang with. Decided that the go is right now, and if he's managed to spot Joshua on this red to the middle pocket, which I don't think he has, then this could still be all go, but I would say this doesn't go. He's going to have to take it to top left. And that's going to be a hell of a cut, and again the cue ball is going to be moving. You really are taking your life into your own hands doing this, but unfortunately there is no choice. Try to screw if he can. No, on for the slide, and no, it's still there. Thought he might have barbecued his partner there, but he's still there. That's a fantastic cut though. Double to bottom left looks like the play here, at least from my eyes. And the cue ball's at least going to be travelling away from the bunch of yellows to the left of the table, so at least the chance of you getting a positional shot on the black's a lot better. Gone the other way. It's gone the other way and it hasn't worked. Just getting tougher and tougher, that. And so often when that happens, you end up just unable to keep at the table, and you got one ball left on the table with snookers allowed. Then this is so often what will happen. And players are more than patient enough at this level to just clip in behind and look for the ball in hand so that they can have the opportunity to run out. Gone wide with the attempt at the kick, so it will be ball in hand to the Tasmanian pairing here, and not a moment too soon. Would have been a few hearts and mouths when the Queenslanders were looking at the table, but now they can relax a little more in the knowledge that they hold the whip hand here. Oh, look at this shot. For the ladies, she's actually sprung out too far. I don't think she was attempting to pot the yellow as well as the red. So looking at, well, I think they've asked for time off because Cooper's on the other table just looking at his options there. So he's gone back round to the other side of the table, so now time can come back on for the ladies. Really isn't much that Mia can do here. For all the enterprise that her partner's shown with the previous shot, unfortunately it's not overly helpful for Mia here. There's the kick at the red again, and again it's wide. So yeah. So there you saw a prime example of knowing when to go and when not to go by the Tasmanian lads. They could have tried to go for the finish that shot the visit before when they had a ball in hand. Well, actually I think they did, but then the yellows didn't quite sit right after the first shot, so they used the fact that that red was still stuck and that they had plenty of yellows to play snookers on to then develop the yellow and play the snooker. So now, having gotten a second ball in hand, they've got a better looking table to come back to attempt round two. Yellow on the left near the middle pocket's now a lot better to the pocket than it was. Of course, as you take balls away from the table, it is harder to get snookers because, of course, you don't have as many options to choose from. That was an excellent shot from Joe to get Cooper nice and square on this yellow, because even though it looks reasonably close to the pocket, this is a reasonably tight angle. So you want to get them close so they don't have to do any work. You just have to drop it in like so. And now Joe's got much the same shot here on this yellow top right. There's a ball in hand on the ladies' table. I think it was Bobby Joe who fouled, and now on the yellows, Bonnie Campbell and Sandy Wright with the chance to run this rack out and square us up at two. What a shot from Cooper Denman. Beautiful parking that for the black. And we are now 2 frames apiece in the men's final. Oh, that's an excellent shot on the ladies' table. It's Sandy who played it. Bonnie the beneficiary of it. Can she turn it over in good order to her partner? Let's touch this in and come across. That's fine. That's all good. I'd rather be lower than higher on this, because all you naturally need to do is run this in, and you should be perfect if nothing else on the black. That'll do beautifully. Yeah. Yeah, can I get a hard rated 0 sugar? Look at that. That's how it's done for the ladies. Yes, they had a ball in hand. Yes, they had a few balls that looked easy, but you still got to make the finish. That plant yellow onto yellow to afford the opportunity to continue on was an excellent shot. I believe in short order I'm going to be joined by Temujin Dixon, who's just going over to the bar, and then he's going to come back here and have a go on the mic with me. Cooper and Joe once again for Tasmania, they looking to run through this. They're on yellows. Gone and off the break on the ladies' table. How often have we seen that happen? How often have we seen the ball skew off the rack and go straight into one of the middle pockets? That is a lovely bit of touch from Cooper Denman. Thank you. Something that I noticed a lot when he was playing in the teams, when we were playing against the Tasmanian boys, was just how good their touch play is. That was as much touch as anything else, in the way that, yes, you had to force the cue through it, but you had to do so in a measured manner. And getting that cue ball into a great area of the table for your partner to just play a stop shot here for the black. And all of a sudden the Tasmanian boys are on top, 3-2.
Hi there guys, sorry for my late arrival. Tem here. Was a quick breakdown of the match there for the guys so far. I think it was 1-0 to Queensland, and Joe had missed the black as I'd left. What's sort of been the story of the match from that point onwards?
Well, they got another opportunity at it. In fact, I think there were 2 more opportunities at it, and then so 1-1, and then went to 2-2. And I think there was a master break in there somewhere as well. I'm poor at remembering exactly what's happened in the game, unfortunately.
And with this one, how have the frame scores gone? Who's been leading and been pegged back, so to speak? I believe did Bobby and Mia win the first? I think that was one. I think both matches were 1-0 when I've walked down.
I think it's just gone frame for frame.
Yeah.
In fact, both matches have gone frame for frame. As far as I can remember, I know there's not a lot of frames to remember.
Has there been a lot of tactical play in this one?
In this one, yes. We've had a number of breaks where, just like that, but there have been a number of breaks where the balls haven't split very well. So like this one here, you've got all those yellows clustered around the black, so it's almost necessitated a bit of safety play.
I think the frame I saw at the house was the same. You were saying it was almost debatable whether or not it was a foul break, yet the play continued.
Well, it must have been a fair break, because nobody seemed to bat an eyelid really, and you've got a referee standing right there. But I didn't actually see the break itself, I just saw the aftermath.
Mm-hmm. The cut break seems to be adopted by more and more players as this week's gone on. At the start of the week, I think because the pockets were that accepting, everyone was just sort of doing a 3/4 pace front wall break, and I think people have seen the success of Barney and a few other of the top liners breaks, and now it seems to be more 50-50 where people are breaking from.
I have noticed that as well, but I mean, I myself, I don't practice the cut break often enough to be confident to play it in a match situation. But obviously, as I progress through playing, I will be practicing the cut break and other variants of the break. Because as you've seen, once the break is finished, once all the balls have come to rest, that then dictates what sort of frame you'll get, unless something untoward happens. So if you can get a nice open frame and get a ball off the break, then already you're in the ascendancy and you should clear. So to adopt a break that increases your chances of that is, well, it's A&1 for players, isn't it?
I think the big thing with the cut break is if you flush them, you generally get a ball, and if you don't crunch them, then they go sort of ugly. So say you're a player like Andy Barnett, a prime example, who's meticulous in the balls, but is also arguably the best safety player in the room. You've sort of got the best of both worlds, whereas the front ball break, you can flush them and still not get a ball and just leave tap-ins for your opponent.
Yeah, I suppose there's a bit of 50-50, isn't there? You're kind of gambling a buck each way on the cut break, so to speak. Obviously, you can never fully tell what's going to happen until you actually hit them.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a great shot.
Great shot there by Joe.
Has he left the ball that red next to those two yellows, bottom right, has he left that on for Cooper? Because if he has, then this could very well be a set of tap-ins.
If this goes as your route, bottom right, then bottom left, then bottom right again, then right centre, left centre, black in the middle. Just a bunch of stun shots, really.
Yes. Maybe
or
it doesn't go.
It could go left, then right, but
maybe this doesn't go. Maybe that's why they're playing this way.
I would suggest it doesn't, because he's probably not going to get any better on it than he was on it just then. I think you might be right.
Yeah, he was flush on that. Maybe they're just going to take this pocket now. Maybe they've decided that it's not worth having a go. I'd rather just park it. Because you've got enough... Well, you've got enough yellows on the table, reds on the table where you are not at genuine risk of being snookered or forced out of the frame.
Must go, because I don't see why they would have potted that ball.
That's puzzling. That's puzzling for me. I just wonder whether he intended that to go or not. The way that they walked around the table afterwards suggested to me they were intending to pot that, though. Because normally there'd be a stop and a like single or double teapot after that. Like, I didn't expect that to happen. He's aiming for it, so okay.
He's got a nice angle though, so he can just drop this in off the far jaw. Oh, didn't even need a jaw.
Maybe that's what they were afraid of, because it was straight. It didn't have as much room to work with. Oh no, Cooper.
He's moved a mile on that one, unfortunately, before addressing the white ball. He was already up and walking.
Can't do that. Simply cannot do that in this game. Stay still, stroke through. Sounds easy, but you've still got to do it.
How have you found the transition? Don't you boys back home play with the heavier white, or have you transitioned now to this in most of your tournaments in New Zealand?
Most of the tournaments in New Zealand we're still playing different rule sets, so 2-inch white.
Yep.
But we are getting a lot more of these. These games where you're playing with the 1/7/8 and 2-inch colours. But we still don't have enough of these Rassons, so we are playing a lot of our reds and yellows on 7-foot tables, which do play a lot differently. First of all, the rails are higher.
Yeah.
So rail shots are a real pain. Secondly, because you've got a lot more area to move around and you're feeling like you're having to cue everything harder to get to where you need to go. It's like the roads are longer. This table, more closed in, it's more of a touch game, which Well, it suits me. I'm a touch player.
Yeah.
But I do think the game in New Zealand would certainly benefit. Well, first of all, we need more tournaments and more tournaments on these tables, because only a certain few people have these tables. It's
really really risky play from the boys. Like, don't get me wrong, this is a hard pot, but they really need to be clamping down. There's no need to force the issue there. They could have just played a snooker and waited for the white to be at that end of the table.
What are you picking here for the black on the ladies' table?
Ooh,
Panic?
It's panic stations indeed, yes. This is a...
Does it go off anything? Does it?
I don't know. Bobby has potted some outrageous balls from similar positions this week. She would have her own highlight reel if the camera followed around.
I'm just trying to think. There's got to be a carom to a double or something somewhere.
No, it's fine. They're just checking on the cameras for...
Oh, she nearly found it!
Oh!
I was about to say the double between the two yellows to go top left, and she nearly played it.
And Tassie goes on the hill. And just to give you a bit of insight on Cooper and Joe, they played Reese Godden and Joseph Evans from Victoria, I believe, in the quarterfinals. And they were 3-0 down, race to 4, with the Victorian pair on a relatively simple finish to win 4-0. And they've managed to dig in there, come back and win 4-3, and now find themselves 2 frames away from being national doubles champions. It'll be interesting to see how they handle the pressure, because they have missed a few crucial blacks earlier in the match, but having settled into it now, it'll be nice to see them actually run towards the line and hopefully not fall over it.
Well, I think the early nerves, they've basically rode those out. I mean, they're both starting to flow individually and as a pair. So this is trouble stations now for David and
Joe
Joshua.
had a massive break all week. His broke huge.
That's another lovely one, isn't it?
So I think it's all about the yellow on the right hand side near the red. Ooh. There's no opener on reds, because I was almost going to say.
Well, there's not a lot on either set here, to be fair. That cluster of balls in the middle of the table is actually a real annoyance, because that blocks a lot of good table space off.
And this shows good composure from the guys here, because...
Big double, it might go off the yellow. Ooh.
Good composure from the guys there. They're not chasing the finish if they think it's not on. And they've asked the question of the Queensland boys.
Yeah, it's good. That's that match awareness coming in, isn't it? It's something that a lot of the Tassie boys have actually been very good at, and we're saying about how good Cale Barrett is tactically, and no doubt him as the team captain, he's been wanting to drill that into his players, that you just to be patient and just work your way towards a finish if the balls aren't lying there, just to try to get yourself into positions and frames where you are in the ascendancy, and then you can use that to leverage.
Yeah, he's definitely an example. They're quite a young squad of players, the Tassie boys, this year. So they've got so much potential, say, for the next 5 years, if they keep that same bunch together and get a bit more experience. And like I just say, Kerry will always looks $1 million out there. He always looks in complete control of every situation. He reminds me a lot of your Singletons and your Barneys. They just seem to play the game at their own pace and have this sort of aura around the table. And that can only rub off on these guys if they're spending time with him at these events.
Well, this is why team play is such a big thing, isn't it? Because you learn a lot about individual playing styles and so on and so forth, but then obviously you've got people whom you look up to, and their playing style works very well when it comes to crunch situations. And you see how well Cale, for example, played in that in the quarterfinal there against Ryan, like how he looked like he was down and then he got some control, and Ryan said after the game he felt he was always chasing. Well, you don't always chase a match if your opponent is not having some modicum of control over it, and that's what Cale does bring. ladies over here. Queensland pairing looking to go 3. So
she's done the same thing there. She's
lifted big time.
She stood up on the shot before delivering the cue. And this black does go. Looking at the table, there's a clear path.
Yeah, no, there's almost a whole pocket.
Yeah, there's more than a whole pocket. You can hit the far jaw here. Looking at the table.
So now we're seeing an attempt at a finish, are we? On the right table here from
just going to watch
Tassie lads.
On this black. Shot, Bobby!
Got it.
Sorry not to be impartial there, guys, but that is my team manager. She's down here to look after us lads and play in the singles and doubles events.
Yeah, apparently she is the person to go to if you actually want a Victorian player's shirt, or a Victorian shirt in general. There's a fair bit of that been going on actually in this tournament. There's the shirt swapping of shirts.
Yeah,
it's a big thing, isn't it?
It is. There's actually some really nice ones as well. I know a lot of the players, like Jason Tanaskevich from ACT, they generally try and collect the captains of each team every year. So they've ended up amassing quite the collection over the years. So yeah, it's a nice thing to look back on. I know a lot of the guys were keen on the New Zealand ones. They look a cut above most of the Aussie ones. They look really nice.
I love our shirts. Love them. Some of your shirts are really cool though. I know it looks quite plain because obviously Mia's modelling that Victorian shirt quite nicely as she's standing there, but it looks simple but it just works, doesn't it? It's no nonsense, as I would say.
The Victorian shirt.
The big V on the front, and then at the back you got the big badge on the back with the player name above it. It just looks clean.
We've always had a very sort of classy professional shirt. Sometimes they can be a bit loud and garish from other states. I think we've actually pushed the boat out this year and had that 8 ball at the front. Is about as brave as we'll get. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the Queensland shirt this year as well. I think they look really smart.
Well, they've got the player's first name on the front and the last name on the back, which I've also seen with the South Australian shirts, how you've got a nickname at the back and the first name at the front. I do actually, in terms of your shirts for your Aussie teams, I really do like the South Australian ones, both the Cup and
the Open
squad shirts. I think they both look ace. But you see a lot of different ideas as to where to put things and where to put names, and so often that there's no one size fits all with them. But for our NZ North and NZ South shirts, you had the player's full name both on the back and on the front. I think the right breast of the shirt. Obviously no other team has actually done that. And the ACT's come the closest. They've had full name, front right breast, and the last name or a nickname on the back.
Right, yeah.
Look, I know we're kind of not talking about the actual matches going on here, but
it's Bobby's fault for shirt swapping. Looking at the match, again, it's another tactical one on both tables here. And I think if you're Joe and Cooper, this is sort of what you want. You don't, like when you've got a 2-frame buffer and you're not far off the hill, you're more than happy to have these 50-50 frames, just because statistically, if you do your part, you're going to get to the line first more often than not. The big concern, well, in my mentality, is if you're at this stage, is that I don't want my opponent to be running 2 quick racks and being level.
Yeah. You don't want to release the pressure valve.
You don't want to be thinking of nursing a lead, because then you're sort of watching the finishing line, but you don't want to be giving frames away. So I think they did the right thing at the start of this frame by not committing to a silly first shot and all of a sudden leaving an open table. I think if they carry on in this vein, they could potentially run out maybe like 6-3 winners. Because Joe and Dave do have a lot of potting power, and we've just played them in the first final of the teams, and they don't generally turn down a lot if there's an opportunity there. So
It's a fantastic shot on the other table, by the way, from Bobby Joe. But who's on commentary? So I'm John Saundercock. I should have said that the first opportunity I got, and joined by Temujin Dixon.
Who have we got there asking that? Matt Palco.
Know him?
Mark Owens watching back at the apartment. Who else have we got? Nick Palat in the chat from... I'm surprised he's not down here actually. Quite a few watching though. 260 people tuned in to watch the doubles is quite substantial. It's normally, I think normally the teams events and the singles take precedence, so it is midweek.
Yeah, I like the fact that you've got both finals right there in front of you, and you know what time they're on if you go on to Polstat. So it does give people the opportunity to blank that space out to watch some pole.
So it's like now 5:30, everyone will be getting back from work. 5:30 in Victoria, that is.
Victoria, and in South Australia, it's what? It's 5, is it? Are they 2.5 hours or 3 hours behind New Zealand?
I actually don't know the time difference for New Zealand. How would you compare this Nationals to the New Zealand National Championships? What sort of format do you guys run? Is it the same sort of length of time or
way
shorter format?
Far shorter. Well, first of all, we've only got singles at the moment. We don't actually have anything else.
Yep.
It's just all singles. It's 2 double elimination singles. We don't have a carnival type event like you guys have got, where you've got all these different competitions rolled into the one event.
Yeah.
This is like a gala of pole, and our nationals are generally only 3 days long, would you believe?
Oh wow, okay.
We don't have anywhere near as many players to start with, but maybe this is something that we could take on board for our own competition as we grow. Because we need leagues to grow. Like, you guys have been playing this for longer than we have. You've had the opportunity to get your states and your territories set up
aligned,
to produce teams, so you can put your teams in, and with that comes your doubles, of course. And because we've not really done that in New Zealand, it hasn't taken root. We've been more concentrating on our singles, and so we don't have regions that you have to qualify for in order to play teams. Because you could do it. It has been done before, but I think that the focus was moved back to, okay, what rule set do we need to be playing? First of all, we changed from 2-shot to black ball to now this, and then I'm not sure if the focus will be to move back to getting your regionals up, so like you guys have got, to really get people having to qualify for their regions, so they're battle hardened when they go into competitions. We don't have enough of these tables either in New Zealand. We've got very few, and I know you guys have got, well, bugger all in Victoria.
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever played on one of this event myself. And what do you reckon of the tables?
Love them.
Yep.
Absolutely love them.
I will say I was a bit dubious when they first came out, but I will say they are a fantastic table. Actually, I've got a Supreme at home, but I think these are a level above.
They are. They don't sound as, dare I say it, they don't sound as cheap or as tinny as well.
They don't feel like they're made of chipboard.
Yeah.
They feel really good.
These actually feel more like the very well-made tables, like they're solid, they're sturdy. They don't sound like a genuine bar table like the Supremes do, and I don't want to sound like I'm critical of them or too critical of them, because they were the standard up until these came out for 6-foot tables. Yeah, New Zealand's 3 hours ahead of Queensland at the moment, but I'm taking Deviator Assassin that you live in South Australia,
Doc Halliday. How you going, mate?
Also, thank you very much, Gazza B Media. I know you're here somewhere, but oh yeah, I can see him.
2 seats down. Going to the match. Massive shot here for Dave Linton. Really needs this in or over. And do you reckon he's left him on the one with the black?
The one next to the black.
Do you reckon, is the red in the way? I'll stand up. I always get a better view looking at the table.
I think the red's in the way.
Yeah, it is. Looking at
the red's in the way for mine.
Looking directly at the table, yeah, you can't.
If you're really feeling ballsy, so to speak, you try and pot this one that you're looking at now.
And get a full ball double kiss.
Yeah.
To hold for the yellow above the black.
Tried to play the turnover.
That should be 4-3, guys.
I don't mind the shot because you're then asking big questions, but now because you didn't pot the red, you've now left it as a good worker.
The only problem is, hypothetically, say they potted that red, all you would have left the Queenslanders would be to chip off the right-hand side of the one most closest to bulk, and they could leave the white in the top right-hand corner, and you had no shot.
Yeah.
So,
and then the frame becomes tactical, doesn't it? It becomes a big tactical frame.
I'm surprised they turned down the out there. I suppose they're just wanting... There's been a nervy couple of frames.
I think it's because they've gone for the out previously in a number of frames and not got them, so they're thinking, well, we want to actually be more selective and when we go for it. Which could actually work against them later on if they get a great
shot from Neon.
If they get to evens or what have you, and then there's a situation that screams take me out, then if they're still thinking about it that way, then they may not take the out and they turn the chance over, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to still back the way you play, no matter whether you're generally aggressive or not. Obviously, there's a bit of wiggle room for dropping a bit of safety in it if you... Oh, she's not blessed, is she?
Ooh. No.
It does cut to the middle, but boy, that's nasty.
I think you'd just be happy.
It's getting a bit cuddly in there, isn't it, Tim?
A bit cagey. I think you're sort of stunning this with as much of the yellow as you can hit, but then with loads of left and trying to go 2 rails and getting the white as far to the top right as you can. Like that pot is just going to be crazy fine.
I think for me, I'd be just trying to pot the ball.
I
know it sounds... I mean, you're much cut above me in terms of playing ability.
No, I think it's 1-0 to you when we've played, so we won't...
Oh, yeah, true. Thanks.
You're only as good as your last match. No, that doesn't cut.
It doesn't cut.
It's way too close. Oh, she's going to prove me wrong now.
No, I reckon it does, you know. Please prove him wrong.
Off the black. Don't go on.
Where's it going? Oh, she's gotten away with it.
Oh, they've had a right result.
She's gotten lucky. You play the snooker here.
Yep.
Make sure you get the weight right.
Yep, that's a good shot.
That's exactly what the doctor would have ordered. Right, where are we at here? Table on the right. We've got not a potential turnover situation, it's a definite turnover situation here.
I'm not sure.
I think he's tried deliberately to use both reds there, you know.
Shots.
Oh, look out, look out.
Look at this.
Oh, and she got a snooker too.
And the Vics behind are getting rather vocal now in their support with their guys, or ladies, shall we say, 3-2 up. And that's a great result there. The pressure is really piling on these Queenslanders.
A couple of the Vic boys there as well, are they?
No, they're all resting. They've been out for a steak lunch to get their heads together for our second life.
So it's just you here with me then, in that case.
Mm-hmm. A couple of the boys are down in an hour because they're in the under-23s. And yes, my
Too many
voice...
Key man.
Yep. Pretty much not stopped shouting for a week, guys, so I'm getting a bit croaky. So, apologies.
Oh, I thought that was in.
That's still a good result again, though. They've killed one red, and I don't know if the other one goes past the yellow.
Looking
It doesn't. You get such a better view from. Oh wow.
She's just looking for the tiniest touch on that to leave in behind for a snooker.
And this is, you're not going to get a better chance than this to get on the hill. And for Mia to win an open category nationals title at her first attempt.
Are you talking about Mia Newman?
Yeah, this is her first adult.
Oh, don't you
nationals.
dare!
Wow.
Don't you dare, you dirty rat!
And there we go. Looks like we're going to have two teams quickly on the hill thanks to in-offs from their opponents.
How often have you seen that middle pocket become a magnet for the cue ball this past few days?
Oh, it's been frightening. And
always when
will
you
put the
least
boys on the
expect it,
hill.
you think you're okay, but then you get this horrible deflection that takes it in.
And there we go. The
And all of
Tassie
a
boys are
sudden-
now 5-2 up.
All of a sudden,
Needing one of the next four, and this will be
and now
This'll
4-2 to the Vic girls over the Queenslanders.
fantastic for Australian pool if we can have 4 new national champions here, and a relatively young bunch as well. Bobby's no spring chicken, but the other 3 are all, I think, 23 or younger.
Well, Bobby doesn't look that advanced in years either, to be
No,
fair.
just I'll compare it to the other 3. I think she's around 30.
The middle pocket's huge.
Oh, what have we got here?
That's. Oh,
How
can
you
you
going?
please show that message? That's brilliant.
How you going, Bo?
Oh,
Oh, there we go.
another
someone's-
moderator just handled this. Okay.
Good to see you watching, Bo. Hope you're enjoying the stream before your night shift.
Oh, and this is your worst nightmare. Dry break after losing a frame you should have won.
Isn't that always the way with the pool gods, though? It
Yeah.
compounds.
Yeah.
When you make a
Rolls,
bad mistake,
rolls, it rolls,
it ends up
it
costing
rolls.
you 2 or 3, and you just can't afford that in these races.
Hurts too, doesn't it? Because you know all you need is a ball off the break and a reasonable table and you're away. But they're going to have to hope for a mistake here.
What colour option are you picking? I think on most.
Reds.
That's what I'm saying. I think you just play.
Well, the Reds are probably the only balls that actually have a starter, first of all.
Do you make sure of the colour, or do you go all out and take the one on the top right to drag across for the 2 at the top?
I would take top right and
Yeah.
come across for the other
For
two.
the face of the 2,
Because, I mean, yes, it's a tricky-ish pot, but you know that if you get it,
it should
then
be
you're
done.
good for at least having a go at a finish.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't get it, you might be gifting a frame, but you have to go and attack it at this point.
I think
It's
I
not
think
gonna
you have
get
to take the
given to
right
you.
shot and back yourself. I'm glad that they're doing this because this is the right shot for me.
Yeah, they've got to go out and win the game still.
And he's played that really well.
Yeah, they're going out and winning the game.
for stepping up and backing yourself for the 20% harder pot, but making the rest of the out pretty much a roadmap.
Yeah, sometimes you've got to risk. Ooh, that certainly had a white. You've got to risk big to win big sometimes, and I think the risk isn't as big when you are 5-2 ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So, definitely the right call for me, and let's see if they take this out.
We'll stick with this table just because it could be the closing moments.
Well, we
Well,
could be the same over
Oh
on the
yeah, I
other one,
suppose,
to be
yes.
fair.
I think this one might be done quicker.
Don't do your Vic girls dirty, Tim.
That's nice now. It's just going to be one half ball red to come back for the next one in the same pocket. Just
So-
don't want to overrun, not this shot, the one after.
So you want to be just past the middle line running down the
Yes,
centre of
perfect.
the table, don't you?
That's probably as good as you could put it with your hand.
So now just a little touch shot.
Track to the black. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That is pinpoint perfect. And we will soon be looking, guys, at our 2025 AEBF National Doubles Champions. And this might be the first open age tournament that the Victorians have won in quite some time. Oh.
No, he hasn't snookered himself.
No, he's on it.
He's okay.
His heart was in his mouth.
You see him bounce away.
Cooper's just going to compose himself.
All right.
And here we go, boys.
Inhale, exhale.
Everyone in Tasmania will be watching and cheering. And there
Bang,
we go,
down
boys.
it goes!
You see the crowd in the background. That's a fantastic achievement for the young lads.
The Tassie boys have
Well
been
done.
loud all week, and they're never louder than now.
Well done, Cooper Denman and Joe Watkins, 6-2 winners. Fantastic effort. As I say, 3-0 down in the quarterfinals. Next minute, they're lifting the trophy. They've been a great pairing. They've never shied away really from a finish. And huge congratulations to them guys, especially having just come off of a team loss as well. Morale could have easily been down.
Yeah, they would have been well down after that, but then they would have just got together and said, you know what, that's
One last
done.
crack.
That's done. Let's just go ham in this game.
And there's Chris Cherry in the background, team manager. He does a lot for Tassie Pool as well, and Kale and the young lads. Really happy for both of the lads. A great bunch of guys, the Tassie as well.
They are actually. I must give them their due credit. Playing off.
That's a fantastic shot there by Mia.
It is actually.
That could be a match winner.
Well, she's taken away a potential problem in that it's hard to get on that ball if you just play it directly. Because you were running away from that ball playing it directly, or you got a clip and it goes bad.
Yeah, this is perfect.
But this does appear to go in behind the red here.
And she's going to leave her straight on the 8 ball. Oh, yes, same thing as the one before. A little nervous. And right, I'm going to mute my mic just in case.
Mia Newman, what have you got, girl? One more shot. That's probably what Bobby Joe will be saying. You've just got to make one shot for the ladies' final, for the pairs. There it's good. She's got it. And look at what it means. Bobby Joe Quinn, Mia Newman, congratulations. Oh, there'll be tears flowing freely from those cheeks, but have at it, cry all you want.
That's fantastic.
Nobody will be judging you. And what a moment.
She'll remember that for a lifetime. That's great from both. They're actually rooming together. That's amazing. And Mum there in the crowd. There she is, hugging Mum.
Oh, that's Mia's mum right there, is it?
That's beautiful.
Oh, that's so cool. Obviously, not many of us had that. Not many of us actually had that luxury because we had to come from New Zealand, but for everybody who has been able to bring family members or friends along, it just means so much more when they're there watching. And then you get to celebrate with your teammates as well. You see Joey Tomei there, and then Colby Poole. She's remained in uniform.
I think she's been playing the singles. I'm going to go say well done to the girls. That's fantastic, and hopefully I'll be in the commentary at some point later on during the week.
But also you've got to give credit to Bonnie and Sandy as well. I mean, you do not get this far in tournament without having played some monster pool. So commiserations to the Queensland pair. I believe the Queenslanders will be playing later on, or actually all of these players will be playing later on in teams event, because I believe even though Victoria won that, it's not straight elimination at that stage.
No, they play again tomorrow night now, the women doing the grand final.
And how about the Queensland girls?
Queensland play at 7:30 tonight, same as the men's.
Okay. So there's still something to play for everyone here.
Yes.
I mean, this is not the end of it. the Victorian girls, and in fact the Queensland girls, could still be playing for a team title.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
right.
the beauty of this form of tournament.
And earning the double chance is a massive
Yeah.
thing over the 10 days. Right, I'm going to go say well done. All the best, guys.
Right, thank you, Tim. And I'll sign off for now. Hope you've enjoyed both of these finals. I certainly have. And I'll see you all, we'll talk to you all later on. Ka kite, stay safe.